Welcome to Rare Coins Value. Imagine holding a single copper coin so small that most people would ignore it, yet so powerful that it represents the final chapter of an entire era in American coinage. Today, I'm holding the 1958 1 cent of the United States of America, a coin that silently closed the door on nearly 50 years of history. This is not just a penny. It is the last regular issue wheat cent ever produced for circulation in the United States. Millions of hands touched it. Millions of pockets carried it, yet very few people ever realized they were holding the end of a legacy. From the sharp profile of Abraham Lincoln to the legendary wheat ears on the reverse, this coin speaks of war, rebuilding, trust, and the everyday lives of Americans in the mid-20th century. Stay with me, because once you truly understand the 1958 1 cent, you will never look at a penny the same way again. The 1958 1 cent of the United States of America holds a unique and unforgettable position in American numismatic history because it represents the final year of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, a design that first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1958, the wheat cent had already witnessed world wars, economic depression, industrial expansion, and the rise of the United States as a global superpower. This single-cent coin became the silent observer of nearly half a century of American life, making the 1958 issue far more than just small change. It became a historical closing statement. When the U.S. Mint struck these coins, no dramatic announcement was made, yet history was quietly being written because the very next year, in 1959, the reverse design would change forever to the Lincoln Memorial. The obverse of the 1958 1 cent features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appear subtly on the coin. Lincoln's calm yet firm expression reflects strength, unity, and resilience, values deeply associated with the American identity during the mid-20th century. Above Lincoln's head is the word liberty, while in God we trust arcs gracefully along the top rim, a phrase that carried deep emotional meaning during the Cold War era when faith and national unity were strongly emphasized. The date 1958 sits firmly to the right, marking the end of an era without most people even realizing it at the time. On the reverse side, the famous wheat ears stand tall on both sides of the coin, symbolizing prosperity, growth, and the agricultural roots of the nation. Between the wheat stalks appear the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin motto E pluribus unum placed above, reminding the world that from many, one nation stands united. This wheat design, simple yet powerful, had become one of the most recognizable coin reverses in American history, and in 1958 it appeared for the very last time on a circulating U.S. penny, making every surviving example a farewell artifact of a classic design. The 1958 wheat cent was composed primarily of copper, specifically 95% copper with the remaining 5% made up of tin and zinc. This solid copper composition gave the coin a rich reddish-brown tone when freshly minted, a color that slowly transformed over time depending on circulation and storage conditions. Unlike later pennies made from copper-plated zinc, the 1958 cent has a satisfying weight and solid feel that collectors often describe as distinctly different from modern cents. This physical quality alone adds to its appeal, as it represents a time when American coins were made with substantial metal content rather than cost-saving materials. In terms of minting, the 1958 1 cent was produced at two major U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint issued coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint used the D Mint mark below the date. Both versions were struck in large numbers to meet the demands of everyday commerce in a rapidly growing post-war economy. Despite the high mintage figures, the historical importance of being the final wheat cent year gives the 1958 issue a lasting place in collector demand. Well-preserved examples, especially those with sharp details, original luster, and minimal marks, are highly sought after by numismatists around the world. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1958 1 cent is the existence of rare errors and varieties that can dramatically increase its value. Among these, the famous 1958 double die obverse stands out as one of the most valuable and dramatic error coins in U.S. history. This variety shows strong doubling on the, particularly in God we trust and liberty, making it instantly recognizable to experienced collectors. Genuine examples of this error have sold for astonishing prices, transforming what was once a simple penny into a life-changing discovery. This possibility alone keeps collectors constantly checking their old wheat cents, hoping to uncover hidden treasure. Beyond its monetary value, the 1958 1-cent carries deep cultural and emotional significance. It represents the end of traditional American penny design and the transition into a more modern era of coinage. It is a reminder of a time when coins were used daily, saved in jars, passed between generations, and often held sentimental value rather than being ignored or discarded. Many people today remember grandparents who saved wheat pennies, not knowing their future worth, but sensing their importance. In the world of coin collecting, the 1958 wheat cent is often recommended as a cornerstone piece for beginners because it is historically important, widely available, and deeply symbolic. Yet for advanced collectors, high-grade mint state examples and rare varieties elevate this coin into a serious investment category. The combination of historical finality, classic design, copper composition, and era potential makes the 1958 1-cent one of the most respected pennies in American numismatics. Ultimately, the 1958 1-cent of the United States of America is not just currency, it is a farewell message from the past. It marks the end of a beloved design that served the nation for nearly 50 years and witnessed some of the most defining moments in American history. Holding this coin today is like holding the final page of a long, powerful story written in copper, a story that continues to captivate collectors, historians, and everyday people around the world. For more rare and historical coin stories like this, like the video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe to the Rare Coins Value channel.